Hey friends, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining me. I have switched up the decor in the background. I'm back to my little vines. I've got a bunny over there. I'm still kind of playing around with it. I found some super cute vines at Dollar Tree. I've got one of them sort of draped over the top of my drawers there, but it's got like flowers and butterflies. It's super cute, but like I don't think it shows a lot from far away. But I don't know, I may be adjusting back there. Thank you for being here though. It is Tuesday as I shoot this. Yesterday, I did a different kind of video. I did a get unready with me video, and that worked out well because I really couldn't shoot a video in the morning. We had gotten back so late from the cheer competition. Can I tell you about my weekend for a second? We're going to talk about some new face steps, by the way. I've got this Ulta mineral makeup that I've been meaning to try, and over the weekend I did turn up a couple things from MCO Beauty. It's like a dupe brand at Target and apparently at Kroger as well. But we had a big cheer competition weekend, 2-day competition up in Chicago, technically Schaumburg. Deep South Spirit has their Glow Tour, and it was a massive competition. There were hundreds of teams there. Belle did great. I'm so proud of her. It was just, you know, a big stage and really cool. We actually left Red at home. We left him with Nana and Papa. And see, he loves a road trip. He's a great little traveler and he loves a hotel, but he is not always living his best life at a cheer competition. The sitting, the noise. A 6-year-old boy wants to do more than that. And I think he pretty much did all his favorite things over the weekend pertaining to lawns, cars, grocery shopping, all the things he likes to do. So anyway, leading up to this competition, I am aware that there is a rather major severe weather expectation for Sunday night. When do we come home? Sunday night. Belle is in a division that tends to compete in the later hours of competitions. She competed at 6:36 to be exact. That was the time on the schedule. And our coaches told everybody, you know, since it's a long drive, you don't even have to stay for the awards because the awards were a couple hours after that. But leading up to this, I'm seeing it be dicey in two ways. We've got rain and snow heading into the Chicago area at the top of a big long line. Rain first, followed by snow. So timing is everything, you know. Do you want to get caught in the snow? Do you want to be in a heavy thunderstorm? And then down south in southern Illinois, they're bullseyed for high winds and severe weather. Imagine being me, who's already kind of anxious about weather, and we're getting wrapped up at the competition and I'm getting notifications on my phone that there's a tornado warning in my county down there. And I'm like on the phone with mom and dad. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, we're watching the weather. We don't think there's actually anything right here, you know. Gosh, my voice is still hoarse from yelling. Yelling for the team, not just yelling in general. Maybe I should start putting some makeup on at this point. Profusion, this is my Get a Grip primer. I just want to use some kind of primer first. But they were watching the weather pretty closely and watching, you know, the live coverage and everything, which I could even pull up on my phone, which was even spookier. Like I'm figuring out if a tornado might be hitting my house on my phone. But it was apparently not so bad in that area. They do the polygon warnings that don't necessarily take up a whole county but are more focused on the actual area of concern, but even still, a tornado's not going to hit everywhere. And I think it was just radar indicated, not confirmed on the ground. So they were okay. And then I kind of get word that, okay, this is definitely past our town. But what are we going through in Chicago? Heavy rain. At night, it's storming. We're on fast-moving interstate travel. Bub's doing great with it, but I'm like, can the windshield wipers go any faster? The rain was probably heaviest at that most northernmost part of our drive, and the radar looked crazy for a while because it was like the line passed through of all the rain, and then you could see off to the west, like if we had delayed the trip by another couple hours, we would have been driving in snow as well, like after a time. I guess the timing really worked out for the best, even though we had to be in some rain for part of the drive. It wasn't ridiculous, but then the whole remainder was extremely windy. I don't know how semi-drivers do it. You could tell there was a struggle to stay in lanes, like as you're passing somebody and it's like drifting. But we made it home shortly after midnight, so yay, and we're safe, and I'm like just still kind of in awe of how that whole day panned out with the weather concerns and the travel, tornado warning, and I'm not home. And what about the cats? My cats will instinctively get under stuff, and I left the radio running for them, and I told them before I left, I said, if you hear them say the word tornado, I'm insane. Get under something. Whatever. Anyway, let's get on with the makeup. Sorry, I came with a story to tell, but everything's okay. Everything's okay. Spring? You see what I mean about spring? So one of the main things I wanted to try here was this Velvet Veil Minerals. I got this from Ulta Beauty Collection Mineral Powder Foundation. Fair to light neutral. I've just barely kind of played with it a little bit, and I feel like it's going to have really good coverage. I also have this concealer from Ulta. It's their Complexion Crush Full Coverage Concealer. I have that in Fair Cool. So I'm going to start there. I've primed. I used that jelly, like kind of hydrating primer. It's also gotten super cold here. It's like in the teens outside. But I'm going to do my concealing first with a few just little dots anywhere I need it. The applicator is real flexible. But this company called Deep South Spirit, I remember we first did a competition with them a couple of years ago. They must have just been getting started or something, because it was a cool competition, but there wasn't near the pageantry and just the fun and the vibes that they have now. Like this whole glow tour thing, it looked awesome. The stage looked like Lisa Frank. You know, any kid my age who had a folder in elementary school knows what I'm talking about. Okay, that concealer, it's supposed to be full coverage. I put on a very, very minimal amount. It blended in really quick. I think I might add more. I want to cover a little more like redness. At one point while we were in Chicago, was it Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon? I think it was Saturday afternoon. It was full on snowing. Didn't like accumulate, but it was fun to see. It's just sometimes weird to see your skin with concealer on but no foundation, but I am actually pretty well covered in the places I want to be covered. And then before I go in with the foundation, I'm going to set my under eye. Emco Beauty. I'd seen more people kind of asking about this in my comments section. At one point we were in a Target that was in Schaumburg, and it was a beautiful big Target with an Ulta inside of it, like actual kind of blocked off Ulta area. You're still in Target, but you're roaming into an Ulta zone. Do you know what I mean? So they had that. They had a bunch of Emco Beauty stuff, like not picked over, just lots of it. So I got this Miracle Flawless Pressed Powder in light, and this is supposed to be like Charlotte Tilbury, which I have that product. I feel like it's a nice powder. It's not quite as buttery, I feel, as the texture of the Charlotte Tilbury. For a time, I used my powder like that quite a bit. Like I've actually hit pan on it. It's just, yeah, there's more richness in the feeling of that powder. But I thought this could go in and specifically set some areas. So I'm using a little puff, and I played around with this yesterday too. But part of why I shot the Get Unready with me yesterday was because I let myself sleep a little extra in the morning because we'd gotten home so late. But I couldn't sleep much because I had kids to get up and get ready for school. The girls did do some sleeping in the car on the way home, which was good. Especially Biddy. She was a little nervous about the weather, but then she was out. So I got a little extra sleep in the morning and then worked on the Get Unready with me later, which was just better for me on that day. I'm feeling set up in here. It looks a little more even too, like it's providing a little extra light coverage. Getting around my mouth, the areas that really matter to me staying power wise. It looks good. I used it lightly with a brush yesterday too, and I thought that method worked well. It does not tend to kick up any excess. Okay, see, no cloud of dust. This might be a nice little Rimmel Stay Matte replacement. At least for me, it's seeming like Rimmel Stay Matte's harder to come by. So Emco Beauty Miracle Flawless Pressed Powder instantly smooths blurs and sets makeup to perfection. That's the claim. Okay, now we're gonna go in with the Velvet Veil Minerals from Ulta Beauty Collection. Ulta Beauty Collection is kind of my rising star, I feel like. I've gotten a great eyeshadow palette, a great lip stain. I do like this concealer. Just different odds and ends that have been so good. And the line is massive. They make a ton of products. So let's see how this stacks up. I'm tapping some into the cap. I'm wanting to use a brush that can kind of buff in. I'm going to use this Monge. It's called the Sculpting Brush. But I feel like it's going to be a good size and density for what I want to do here. So I'm going to tap into the minerals. Swirl, tap, and buff, I guess. We'll use the playbook of Bare Minerals and see what we get coverage-wise. Sometimes when I'm first really looking at mineral makeup on my skin, I'll do half my face. And I can see a little bit better what it's doing. And we'll go over the nose here. So like here on this side, I can see very blatantly more freckles and stuff. And here, you know, I've still got some freckles, but they're being smoothed out with a medium coverage there. I didn't get up to the forehead much. The tone looks good. This is nice. I really like the look. I'm going to tap out about the same amount for the other side. See what we get there. I'm pleased though. I'm buffing it in. This brush is a pretty good shape and size for me. Nice. See, I can tell it has a real blurring effect. Pretty. I'm into it. I hope it wears well. Another time when I tried this, and I don't believe I was shooting a video, I had just kind of put on some tinted moisturizer and used this as a little additional product. But here we're letting it have a little more responsibility for the coverage of the look, and I think it's doing great. Next step in my little new stuff complexion routine, we're going to use the Wet n Wild in the shade Holy Mocha. This is their Mother Fluffer little, you know, squatty looking mushroom. I can only think of mushrooms when I see this. But they've got Beige Please, they've got Toasty Maple. I think I used this one in a short video, this one in another YouTube video, and I'm going to use the darker one today. So they're kind of moussey but dense creamy mousse. Really similar actually to the texture of Maybelline's new products, the Cloudtopia stuff. So I'm dotting some around. It does not set too fast. And then, as you can see, it blends out with so much ease, even though this is the darkest shade. So for the darkest shade to be applied that freely across my forehead and look that subtle afterwards, I mean, I would say we could classify this as a pretty subtle type of cream bronzer. I mean, look, even right down in here, sometimes it just shows a little more because right in that zone in the hollow of the cheek, you're already a little more shadowed, but still looking pretty subtle there. But there we go, there's our little bit of contour and bronze. It just seems very soft, like I'm kind of wanting a little more. I've really been using this Too Faced a lot. Chocolate Soleil Matte Blurring Bronzer in the shade Chocolate Toffee. Good stuff. Enjoying this. I'm going to take that up and layer it actually so I can get a little more color over more of a broad surface area, you know. It's just easier to do that with a powder bronzer, take up more space. Glad I didn't put all my sweaters in a tub or something because it's cold again. We had our little taste of spring and now it's cold. All right, we've got that, we're bronzed. Then I got this. This is the other thing that I saw from MCO Beauty that I wanted to try, the Blush and Go Cream Stick. The shade is called Warm Terracotta. Do I need to try a Rhode blush? There's the question. I haven't, I kind of want to, I'm kind of curious, but I'm kind of like, is it even necessary? How close is this to it? I don't know. But I can tell you I do like this blush. I was playing with it yesterday, but look at all the excess packaging. Look how much bigger the stick is than the actual product. And it doesn't take a lot, like just a little swipe and a lot of cream is laying down. You can tell like a lot of cream. Look how high I went with it. But I love this color and it blends out well. And I would even like this on my lips too. They don't really claim it as a lip product, but they should. Look at this, it's pigmented, just rich with color. Ooh, what do you think? Kind of want to try a Rhode one just so I know. How similar are you to that? But this is very impressive. It feels like a Persona blush, you know, very creamy, lays down a lot when you put it on. If you were to do a whole streak of it, you'd probably be overloaded with product. Like you got to keep it kind of just a little swipe. Little swipe for me, maybe more of a dot for most people, but look, I've got plenty of blush. Cute, cute. You want to see it on the lips? It just screams lip balm, but why is this tube so thick? You know what it makes me think of a lot is a certain shade, different format, different texture and feel and stuff, but actually really similar tone to Toasted Sky from the Cloudtopia stuff. This does claim to be lip and cheek, but I just got that on kind of roughly. And then I have this from Morphe, this Life Proof Continuous Setting Mist. And I guess this is alcohol free. So this will answer the question, can it still be good and not contain that? Close eyes and mouth. Hold bottle 8 to 10 inches away from face and mist evenly. Let it set for 60 seconds. Okay, so we're talking right about here. Okay. did a cloud. My face feels way wetter than I would expect it to feel with that fine of a mist. It felt cloud-like and light and fine, but yet it really came in contact with my skin quite a bit. I feel like I look visibly wet too. Is this gonna work? Is this gonna still make everything last? We'll keep an eye on things today. I'm gonna finish my face and I'll join you with my end look. Okie dokie, here's the finished look. I did my eye and like finished off the lip. For my eyeshadow today, I used a Clinique quad. This is the only quad I have. I feel like I'm often talking about the duos, and I do have the Black Honey like little palette, but I have this quad in Morning Java and it's quite good as well. It has tones in there that I really like. These shades do have shimmer kind of to varying degrees. I use this rusty shade in my crease, this in my outer corner, inner lid, and under the brow. It's a nice look. It kind of makes me think fall. That gold is really fairly pronounced. But I use that. I have this glider shadow stick from ABH. The shade is Cocoa Drip, and this is a pretty shade. I've got it on my lower lash line and smudged a little bit on the outer part of my upper lash line. Look at that pretty like deep bronze shimmer. Love that. Just trying to get a feel for this line as a whole. I was sent a bunch of these, so I'm experimenting. And then I used my Maybelline Lash Sensational Body Mascara. I'm just burning through it, y'all. It's not bad because with enough coats, it actually builds on itself pretty well. It just takes time. But I've got like 3 to 4 coats on of that. e.l.f. Lash Extender on the lower lashes, tubing, won't smudge. And then I went off of the shade that we put on the lips from this little blush. I just sort of enhanced that, cleaned that up. The shade Dangerous Dolly, that color actually matched the lip color very well, the blush color I should say. It's not as mauve-y as the packaging looks. You have to keep in mind that it has a little more warmth than it looks like it's gonna have. So that was my outline, and then my gloss is from e.l.f. This is called Jam Session, and it's just one of their regular Glow Reviver lip oils. But yeah, that's my like trying new stuff and life update. What just fell down? The new things that excited me most, I'm excited to get more use out of my Velvet Veil Minerals. I think that looks beautiful on the skin. And by the time we put that setting spray on, it really, I mean, there was no powdery look to my face. Even going all over it with mineral makeup, it looks great. And then I really like the pigment in this stick. I think the packaging is excessively big, but it is cute and it probably drew me in. And I just love how pigmented that blush is, and I really like the tone. And by the way, those ABH sticks, it does look like they're in it for the long haul. They want to set and not move, and even the shimmer in it is not moving. So yay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.